welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. Today we're taking a look at set number 10497 containing 1,254 pieces. This is the Galaxy Explorer space system that was released as part of the 90 years of play in 2022 and retired in 2023. Originally retailing for about $100 US. I picked this up at Walmart in January of 2024 for about $33 it was on sale for, so it wasn't something I was originally going to pick up, but on sale like that, I could not say no. And this is, of course, an anniversary set based on set number 497 from 1979, the Galaxy Explorer, part of the classic space phenomenon going on in the late 70s and early 80s. Today we're going to take a quick, detailed review of it. We're going to do a quick time-lapse speed build and then see what we think of the overall set. But let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Okay, and as we get started with the build here, of course it does start with a nice Technic frame in order to make sure it is nice and stable, something of course the original Galaxy Explorer did not have. It is quite symmetrical, so that means it's going to be a little repetitious in a few areas. It does use a lot of simple colors, of course, so you do a lot of the plate work underneath, and then the details actually start going together by using some of like the blue textures, and you kind of do one side, and then it's like a mirrored version on the other side, and you kind of just go back and forth as you do that, kind of doing each different version of it. But I enjoyed kind of the simplicity of the colors, which I think is a part of this kind of model and everything, but more on that later. But then you kind of start with the actual like tile work on top there, kind of to smooth it out, so it does have less studs on it than the original does, which is nice because that gives it kind of a modern twist on it, and I think that looks pretty nice. And then it kind of covers it up. You put some of like the caution details on it, and of course that classic space blue, which I think is just a great detail on this set that really just kind of ties the whole nostalgia factor of it all together. And then you start putting some of the last details in there as far as some of the printed pieces, which I really liked. No stickers in this set, so again, like classic space used to have no stickers, so I appreciate that they stuck with that. So you kind of put all those details in there, the yellow window screens, of course, that's kind of, again, another classic part of it. And then you kind of do some of the rear part of it there with like the fins and the thruster section, and it all kind of comes together using a lot of wheel pieces and everything. But let's go ahead and take a look at the set. And here is the new Galaxy Explorer. Obviously, again, based on the original, this was a fun set to put together because it is a classic. Not even just classic space, but it's just an iconic set and still just checks a lot of boxes to be a nice overall Lego set that has play but also fun features. One of the fun things about this set is it only uses colors that were available when this set was originally made. Blue, yellow, green, and black. The only exception is like the light bluish gray instead of like the old gray, of course, but otherwise it kind of stays true to that even for some of the interior, which is something you see with more modern sets now. They have a kind of a colorful interior and then they plate over it with like this like gray or whatever the main color is meant to be. Obviously you get a lot of Star Wars vibes with this, of course, but this was the original Star Wars. When these sets came out, everyone pretended that these were, you know, Star Wars ships and stuff and kind of made their own adventure there. But taking a look at the ship, I'll try and point out a few main features that I thought were really cool. These are printed pieces on the side here, as would have been in the original, so I appreciate that. I don't believe there were any stickers in this set, which is a nice change, but you know, a little symmetrical there with kind of how things are put together, so it has a little bit of a repetitive build, as you can see as you kind of go through it, because it really is just two whole halves. Here are the minifigures that come with the set in the order that you build them. So you've got, of course, the original red astronaut, the kind of little droid, a white astronaut, red astronaut, and another white one. In the instructions, it said that it's almost the same, other than the helmet itself is a little bit different, as this part is thicker. As shown with Benny in the Lego movie, it was easy to break, so now it's a little bit more reinforced when they use these type of helmets in the future. But overall, nothing too crazy, no, extra faces, just the random smiles, and this little droid with the printed pieces. There's something classic about it. I love it, with this kind of blue and yellow, and then the red and white. It's something truly unique for Lego, and I'm glad they're embracing that a little bit more again. And here are the extra pieces that come with the set. Looking at the back, you can see some of the thrusters with kind of the trans red pieces. The first play feature, of course, you can't open this up here as it's just held in there with kind of two small clips. Inside is the little moon buggy. As you can see, the little moon buggy is just a simple little build, but it gets the job done. But of course, the other fun part of it is it has this little ramp, and you'll first put it down. You're like, what's going on here? But this is like one of the big specifications plaques, which you can then drag out, and it'll pop down like that. So if you have your buggy in here, it's held in spot like that. Pull out the ramp just like that, and off it goes. Here's just a quick shot of them on the Doom buggy, so there is enough room for his oxygen tank there. Looking at some of the interior details, there are two sections of this like yellow transparent glass here. I wish they didn't put it in with the pieces because they get little scratch marks on them, of course, so hopefully in the future they'll stop doing that, but it's just something we have to live with. Inside, again, you can see some of the printed details in there with some of the controls and about the ship. And again, kind of in the back here, those are two beds right here, and I'll simulate that with the minifigures in just a moment. They were designed as beds for the astronauts to lay down kind of like this while keeping their space tanks on, so it goes in that little hole there, so kind of keeps them right in place by doing that. But it can hold all of them. It is a sturdy enough ship that you can pick it up kind of with the nose like that, and with kind of one hand. There's a number of Technic braces inside there. I'm a big fan of these landing gears. It has kind of this really cool piece there that can kind of fold up into the ship, just kind of stick out. But even when you put it down, it will kind of even itself out, which is a nice thing, so you don't have to play with the landing gear too much when you do that. Another fun play feature is it does have this little airlock, which can slide back and forth there. Close that up, and we'll load the buggy back in. And again, that just kind of clicks into place. You can see it comes with a walkie-talkie down there, as well as a little wrench. It was cool that you did build this arrow on there. Before, they said it was a printed piece, but this time it's kind of built in, which is a nice detail. There's also little cargo things on the side here, an extra oxygen tank, and we've got them all loaded up there, and the little droid robot thing in there. I just put them in there like they are in the box, two red in the front, two white in the back row there. And of course, with Lego Star Wars and other ships, it does need to have what's called the swooshability test. So if for a play feature, if you can feel like you can really swoosh it around, it doesn't have a handle on the bottom, of course, so it doesn't have a great place to kind of have that swoosh that I am looking for. It still has a good bit for play feature, so I think it does pass the swoosh test. Okay, so what are our final thoughts on the Galaxy Explorer? It's the first time I've done like one of these retro sets in a long time. I know they've been doing that here recently with like the Eldorado Fortress and a few other things. Hopefully they continue to do these even with classic space or even other themes like adventurers I'd really like to see, or more pirates, or other things they just don't really do, and I think the one-offs do well enough that I think it would be great to do. It was nostalgic in a way, even though I didn't own classic space myself, a little before my time, but I've seen them and I've had a few over the years, so I think this is a good looking set. If you're just really into the classic space, just another good one to add to the collection there. The deal was too good to pass up, so when I saw it, I had to pick it up. But I think that will do it for today. I think this is a great set. I'm glad LEGO did this, and hopefully they continue to do more. But until next time, thanks for coming by Old Mountain Bricks today. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below what you think of the Galaxy Explorer. Were you able to pick it up before it retired? Do you think it's any good? But until next time, thanks for coming by Old Mountain Bricks today. Have a good one.